I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yes, I think so. We'll find out. Let's do this. All right. Señorita Romy Hernandez, thank you very much for accepting my invite to chat today. I've been following you for a long time, by the way. Sometimes when I see your content, I'm like, oh, I wonder if I should be following her because a lot of your content's for females, ¿no? Y hay veces que like you talk very specific stuff and I'm like, oh, y luego pues I want to know a little bit more about you because of the podcast and different things. Y pues digo, maybe this is not for me, you know, because I think that a lot of stuff that you have is for women. Mm-hmm. But bueno, I'm a follower for sure. And then about 2 weeks ago, maybe more, I had our favorite lawyer, Alexander's Sarah. And when we had our conversation afterwards, she's like, oh, you should have Romy. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's a sign to invite Romy. And when you answer my DM, every time someone answers my DMs, I'm like, oh my God, you know? And then when you walked in, lo mismo te dije yo, oh my God, she's here, no? Y no me la creo, and I'm always as nervous. So I want to once again thank you for your time. Welcome to On Point.
No, thank you for having me. You're so sweet, and you're more than welcome to follow me. I know, like you said, I post a lot of stuff that it's mainly geared towards women, but I mean, it's okay. I do have a couple men here and there, which it's fine.
Yeah, from time to time, be specific on something for guys. I can be like, oh, he's just talking to me too.
I should be like, try this razor.
And I don't know about that, pero
I bought it for my husband. Try it.
Deja tú, le digo a pues, previous guest, no, pues me dicen de mi beard, like, yeah, but no shave November since 2017. Actually, no me sales. I'm like, no. Yeah, when right now you talk razors, maybe not. Talk about something else. All right, Romy, let's get started. So, tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and who you are, por favor.
Of course. So, my name's Romy Hernandez, and I do a lot of things. So, I carry a lot of hats. Most importantly, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, a daughter, obviously, sister, and I'm also a business owner. I'm also an entrepreneur. I have also my own show on All in El Paso titled Cafecito with Romy, in case, no one's heard of it. It airs every Saturday. I do also some influencing on Instagram. Influencing, I don't like the word influencing, but it is what it is. I do some influencing on there, and I'm all about empowering women, of course, but people in general, just empowering everybody, because I feel like this pandemic really shifted everybody, and it's important to lift each other up always, and help each other reach to your best potential in life. So that's my thing.
Nice. I really like that. We're definitely going to go back to Cafecito with Romy. Also, as far as social media, we're definitely going to go back to that. But I want to get started also with getting to know you a little bit from a young age. I know you had a daughter at 16.
Yes.
Let me tell you that, first of all, I identify with you 100%. Wow. I also had my first mistake at 16. By the way, she's okay with that, by the way, guys. So, no, actually, wait a second. I had it at 16, and I did it again at 17, by the way.
No.
Yes.
You didn't learn.
No, deja tú. Y te quiero decir, 2 different women.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's a good story. Hopefully, my mom's not watching this. No lo está viendo, está en inglés.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, so when I was listening to your podcast, I think it's with our favorite lawyer, that you say, you know what, I want to empower women because I want to prove that, yeah, even with kids, you can still make it happen. And same here, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's me right there. Now, to be frank with you, I don't remember, like, going back, I do remember, obviously, making my mistakes, having to tell my mom, my parents. The first time, it was the worst thing ever. Espérame, me quería morir. The second time, no paré de llorar en el piso. Real story, en el piso, because like, te acaban de regañar hace poco. Yeah. No, you don't want to know. Pero I was able to, thankfully, I was able to do my stuff, and I consider myself successful, not money-wise, not anything, but I'm happy, and in the end, I think that most people, that's kind of like the end goal, right?
Of course.
So with that said, let's take it back to you. You said you also had at 16. What do you remember from that experience? I'm sure it was high school up, see? Talk to us about not what happened, because we know, pero más o menos how you dealt with that.
She's sitting out here, so I'm sorry. No, she knows I love her. It was definitely traumatic. It was very traumatic. I mean, it was probably, I would say, the most traumatic episode of my life so far. I'm 33 years old now, so that was literally half of my life ago. Y sí, it was the worst. I went through a lot. But I also grew a lot as a person, as a young woman. And it, to be honest with you, it's taken me a long time I even want to get choked up right now. I never get asked this question ever. So you're the first person that brings this up to me. But it took me years to not get choked up or even kind of relive all of the feelings that I lived during that time, because it was a very sad time in my life, but it was also a very happy time in my life, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Because,
if you don't mind me asking, were you a single mom or no?
Yes, I definitely was.
Wow. Yeah. And at that time, and this is where it gets kind of like my intent, or one of my things. I'm not going to say my goal in life, because I'm not going to lie to tampoco. Mm-hmm. But I do remember when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I remember that my mom used to tell me, hey, it was my fault porque te prestaba el carro, and you're always like, I started driving at 14, 15, like at a very young age. And me, at that age, I'm like, no, mom, of course not. This is the best thing that could have happened to me. Why? Who wants to have kids at 30, 40? Ya ni van a poder jugar con los niños. But that was my head, right? And now as I grow older, I'm like, no, wait a second. I did miss on a lot of stuff because I had to work at a very young age. Mm-hmm. Since 16, full-time, y no he parado. And again, thankfully, I've been able to do a lot of great stuff and everything, but I do realize that there's a lot of people that don't have that. So one of my goals is to, I'm not going to say influence, but hopefully someone can take something back to, first of all, and first was, don't make those mistakes. Mm-hmm. Second is, si se puede. And when I heard you say basically the same thing, I'm like, yes. Now know that don't take it as an excuse, por favor, that maybe it's going to take you longer than other people. But also, you can do it.
It's definitely possible. It's not easy. It is definitely not easy. But yeah, like you said, it's definitely possible. Si se puede. Y, híjole, yeah, it was a trying time in my life. Like I said, I was, obviously I was a single mom. My mom was a single mom as well. Uh-huh. So, man, I cannot. I mean, my mom, she's my everything to me. You're going to make me cry because she... Not only did she put up with it, she didn't have to, pero she basically didn't let me work. I begged my mom to let me work, to let me see for myself and my daughter, my unborn child. I was 16, and I told her, I can have your permission, I can work. Y no me dejó. She was a business owner herself. She had a home daycare for almost 20 years at home, obviously. And I would always work with her since she was starting. So I must have been working with her since I was like 12 years old. Ya hasta desde antes, she was always hustling and selling burritos, and I was always there to help her. If my eyelash pops off, tell me, because I'm about to cry.
I will let it be like for 30 seconds porque se va chistoso, and then I'll tell you.
But, she put up with it. She was very upset. Very upset. I'm sure you can relate. I've never heard my mom cuss. Never. I had never heard my mom cuss hasta ese día que se dio cuenta que le dije. Y, ni me acuerdo en verdad la palabra que me dijo. Se me hace que me dijo, ¿cómo eres pendeja? Pero así de así con
y coraje. Lo sentiste tú, I'm sure.
I mean, I've never heard my mom cuss, y para que, o sea, está enojada, like she's big mad. y hasta la fecha nunca he oído a mi mamá decir ninguna mala razón. Y dije, no, ya aquí ya me morí, este va a ser mi velorio. Pero no, muchísimas gracias a mi mamá que me ayudó a salir adelante, y con mi niña hasta la fecha la trata como si fuera su propia hija. No me dejó trabajar, te digo.
¿Hasta cuándo te dejó trabajar?
Me dejó trabajar hasta que tuve 18 años, y eso fue porque le rogué que por favor me dejara trabajar, y aún así sorry, we're like mixing English and Spanish.
No, go ahead.
Even then, she didn't want me to work, so I didn't last there very long. I was working at the mall at an Altel booth selling phones. Según yo, I think I lasted there like a month. And she did everything possible for me to not enjoy that experience.
Wow. Okay.
If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense, and we're definitely going to talk about this because, well, I haven't told you this, but I have custody of my daughter. She's been living with me for 9 years already. Wow, so it's just her and I at the house. So what I try to do is to teach her like life lessons acá de aquí, de acá. She's tired of listening to me. Ve los podcasts, Dad, yo ya vi es. Like, don't even tell me. Like, but she's a really good girl, right? Yeah. And one of the things that as she's starting to grow older, que no quiero trabajar. No, wait a second. And especially you, because that, okay, let me try to go back a little bit. I really think that the biggest lottery that we can win as humans is our parents, 100%. Because I know that maybe 8 out of 10 people, you get pregnant, especially Hispanic culture, que me pones a trabajar, querías andar haciendo eso, órale. And I understand, because, I mean, maybe they don't know better. But yes, that the mistake was done, and everyone's upset, for sure. But the right approach is that, and this is where I tell my daughter, because she has friends and even family member que le said, hey, pues ya, ¿cuándo vas a agarrar a trabajar and everything? Like, wait a second. Whenever you're going to start working, let's say it's at 25, you're never going to stop. Like, ¿para qué? Why the rush? You don't understand that you have to live your cycle of, you want to read? Stay there and read. Of course, she's responsible. 9 years of perfect attendance. Wow. She reads over 100 books a year. So you can tell más o menos what type of daughter I have. Pero, okay, not bragging. But the truth is that, like, no, wait, you take your time. And if you have kids, my advice, perfect age, 30 or 35, so even older than that. Why? And because you have to live your life. Tienes que andar con tus 40 vatos. I don't care. You vive la vida loca, but do it because that's exactly the stage that you're in. Because then what happened to me is that I worked a lot and pues ya después ya quería salir después, and then I was leaving my daughter, and I did a lot of stuff that, because I couldn't, like, my daughter suffered some of the stuff because of me, like, living a fast life, if you want to see it this way. So when you're telling me this about your mom, I'm like, oh my God, like, that's so smart advice, first of all. And it sounds like she's been, not only for that, but also she's been crucial to who you are right now.
Oh, absolutely. I am a part of her. I am her. She is me. I model so much. And now that I've grown, I model so much of my mom and myself. My kids are my everything. Yo no los dejo donde sea nomás porque me da la gana. Like, y eso es algo que ella me recalcó desde que tuve a Natalia, mi niña, que ella siempre me decía, you can't leave her, nomás para la escuela, lo que necesitas que hacer y ya. Ven aquí por tu niña a las 4 o 5 de la tarde, and that's it. I'm not going to be watching her. So, yeah, I mean, I did miss out on a lot of, early 20 age things, and I hated it. I hated it with a passion. But now that I'm older, I thank her so much for putting that into my brain, embedding that in my brain of being a good mom above anything else.
Wow. I don't know. In my brain, I'm like, should I continue the subject? Because this is where I maybe differ a little bit from you. Because at the same time, of course, I had the mistake. I had that working. But then I'm against the people that are 24/7 with their kids. And they can't take a trip by themselves. They don't do this. Or también when they were younger, like, as long as you don't do it every weekend, like, exagera, espérate, you do need that. Because if not, if you stay 24/7 with your kids, it's my opinion, by the way, vas a estar amargado, for sure. Like, yes, yeah, you look like the best mom ever. And I know a lot of people older, that's 24/7. But guess what? Like, they're not happy with their life. Again, there has to be a balance. Tampoco leave them there for 2 weeks y luego ya regreso. It's not about that. But if you do it responsibly and you're able to kind of like also be happy in the long run, if you're happy, your kids are happy. Absolutely. And I think I was able to do that with my daughter because she sees me happy. Like, I don't care if you go to high school, to college, whatever it is. As long as you're happy somehow, some way, make it happen. Y te digo yo, and a lot of people, and I don't know if maybe you also either agree or not, te digo, I saw that 24/7 mentality. Like, I get it. It's kind of like the responsible thing. But then if you have a way to also do your stuff because you need to live your life, I think in the long run, your kids will be thankful for that.
Of course, and they'll see that, like, again, it goes back to the same thing. It's possible to be a parent, even a young parent at that, and still be able to do what you want to do because you are not supposed to lose the person that you are either. So that's my whole thing now, which it brings us back. So my mom taught me that, your kids are important. Kids are number one. Kids are kids. But now myself as a grown woman, I think the same thing. I think, I love my kids and I would die for them. But a la misma vez, I also need my alone time. And that's why I do what I do, because it's my escape. In other words, it really is. And bringing my mom back to the subject, she kind of struggled for a bit when I started doing the whole influencing and, yeah, ¿y quién te va a cuidar los niños? ¿Y quién te, pero, and it's like, no, mom, like, it's okay. Like, I got it. Like, either their grandma, my mother-in-law, or her, or now that my daughter's older, she helps me out so much. She's almost 17. So I'm teaching at the same time my mom that, you know what, it's okay. Like, I can still have my 4 kids, and still be able to do what I want to do and still find the time to do it. And now she's like, now years later, she's like, pero no sé cómo es que haces tantas cosas. Y cómo I actually have another project coming in, which we can, well, no, I don't want to talk about it yet, but I have another project coming in, and she's like, pero cómo es que vas a tener todo el día? And I'm like, Mom, I can do it. I can do it. Trust me. I can do it. One more thing's not going to kill me.
No, that's good. Te digo, just to close that subject, we might come back to it. But it's so huge, the influence that that your parents have, your immediate family members. A lot of times, and I'm sure you follow people on social media, that you see their post or that they're suffering or that they're telling everyone how bad the world is. And I have tried my best to develop some type of empathy, because the fact is that, yeah, maybe no nos cae bien Romy, que está like negative Nancy all the time or doing stuff. But you know what? I'm 99% sure that there's a story behind that her parents, there was no one around to guide this person. So as cliche as it sounds, like, I do try to, like, you know what, like, try to influence or talk to people, or when they have, hey, dime, like, I'm just gonna give you my opinion, but I do. And then my daughter comes from high school and tells me some of the stories, and I can't believe that, and I want to, like, help, but then you can, and it's a whole mess. Pero bueno, more to come of that, by the way.
Yes, absolutely.
Pero bueno, Ro, thank you so much for sharing that. Let's go into your personality. How do you describe yourself, like, aside from your professional, your influencer thing, whatever you're doing? Like, ¿cómo eres tú como persona?
¿Cómo yo soy? ¿En la casa o...?
Hey.
Porque en la casa I feel like I'm like two different... Pues en la casa, at home I have to be mom. I have to be mom, I have to be wife. So I'm actually... And people will find this very interesting. I'm actually very strict with my kids. I'm not extremely strict. O sea, nada loco de que...
Go back to that subject.
O sea, no. O sea, todo con su medida, ¿no? Like everything with the... ¿Cómo se dice? Like everything with the...
con medida, ¿no?
Sí, con medida, todo con medida. Like, you're not going to be extreme about being strict on your kids, but I also see myself a lot in them too. And all three of them, they're all very different, but I see myself in every single one of them. And so I'm like, no, hay que jalarle la cuerda un poquito, soltarlo un poquito. Like, it's kind of like a puppeteering thing at home, and obviously the wife stuff. So at home, I'm totally different. I'm very serious in a way. Like, I have to be the mom and I have to be the wife, because we're both, my husband and I are young. So sometimes we're like, oh my God, like probably people think, like, if they don't know me, like, they probably think that I'm like their sister, and they do. I get that a lot. I get that I'm the sister, especially at school.
Yeah, I always joke with my daughter that she looks like my older sister.
Sí. Yeah. And but no, I'm very outgoing. I'm very easygoing. I'm very spontaneous. I think I'm funny. I want to say I'm funny.
You do laugh a lot, so I guess
I do. I laugh a lot, and right now I can't laugh very much because of my surgery. I'm hoping my stitches are not showing on the camera. Because they're still here. I'm like, keep your head down, Romy. Keep your head down.
That's so funny.
No, I think I'm funny. I'm outgoing. I'm easygoing. Definitely. I think I get along. I'm a team player.
Are you a happy person?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you happy with your life, with everything?
Definitely. It's been hard. I'm not gonna say it hasn't been happy and sad the whole time, but right now in my life, 33 years old, what are we, April 2021, I am very happy with my life.
Nice.
It's taken a lot to get to where I am right now, so I've been through it all.
Nice. We'll definitely come back to see what is some of the stuff that you went through, huh? But all right, Romy, as far as COVID, right? This pandemic, I mean, it's still ongoing. I don't know what to call it, because it seems like it's the end, because then everyone's out and about, but it's still there. But tell us about your experience personally with COVID since it started. ¿Qué pasó?
Well, I've been home this whole time, so my house, my four walls in my bedroom have seen a lot more of me than they've ever had. But you know what? I love being home. I'm a homebody, so I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the quarantine. I was actually in heaven. Me, myself and my kids, all of us, we love being home. I personally did not get COVID.
Okay.
I did not get COVID. I had scares, pardon. I had scares, like 2 scares at the beginning of the COVID thing. Like even before it started, actually, like in February, I was very, very sick. And I'm a person that never gets sick. I really never get sick. But my husband and I, we both were very, like, we were dying in February. We were very sick. And no, we didn't have anything. Obviously, later on, the COVID came out, the pandemic and all that. So we're like, oh my God, maybe we should get tested. And we did. And no, nothing. We didn't have anything. We didn't have antibodies, nothing. The year went by. Everything's fine. Everyone's been fine. I had another scare like in November. I was very sick, very, very sick. I took I think it was like 3 or 4 tests, all negative, antibodies negative, which is the weirdest thing. But no, I've thankfully, knock on wood, I've been healthy, and so has my family.
Nice. I know that during COVID, that's when you grew your social media a lot, and I think that you also quit your. I don't know how long you had that previous job, but talk to us about that and what is it that you do right now?
So yeah, I did. I left my job in the middle of the pandemic in November 3rd, election day, actually.
Ooh, okay.
I'll never forget.
How long had you been doing that for?
2 years, going on 2 years,
Okay.
a little over 2 years actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a retail manager. And can I say where I was at?
Of course.
I was a retail manager at Fort Bliss, cosmetic retail manager.
Cosmetic?
Yeah, for Lancome, actually.
Oh, okay.
Prestigious makeup.
Okay.
And
Come down with the fancy words, please.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it. Oh, I hated it with a passion. And my followers will tell you this. I didn't want to be so negative, but I felt like posting.
Why did you hate it, by the way? I'm curious.
The environment was very toxic. O sea,
like the quotas, the people.
No,
what,
not
like
the
what,
not
what
as far as like the work and like the sales or anything like that. Nothing like that. Just the people in general. It was very toxic. When I went in there, hopefully they don't watch this. But you know what? Who cares?
Mi mamá y mi tía, so go for it.
Y mi mamá ahora.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, and your mom.
No, it just it was very toxic. I went in there and I was a beauty advisor, so I was just an associate. And the manager at the time, she was very like strong personality, and I'm a very strong personality too, so we immediately clashed. Which is funny, I'm all about horoscopes. I know this is a little weird, but I'm all about horoscopes. I'm like, ¿qué fregas? ¿Qué horóscopos está vieja? Porque me caen los huevos. And I was like, damn, she's a Capricorn. My husband's a Capricorn, and my best friend is a Capricorn. So I'm like, damn, like that's the first time I don't get along with a Capricorn. I'm all about horoscopes. Right, okay. And so, man, she made my life impossible. It was bad. It was very bad. I was embarrassed.
Embarrassed?
I was not embarrassed. Oh. I was humiliated. Pardon.
Oh, okay.
I was humiliated by her multiple times in front of other people, in front of clients. It was bad. It was the worst job experience I have ever had in my life, and I've been working since I was 18. So
we'll put her Facebook in the comments, guys. ¿Verdad? By the way,
no, they know who they know who she is.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'm just joking. They're gonna tag her. No, they said no. It was another boss. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was very bad. Okay. It was very bad. It was very traumatic.
Was it?
Oh, sí, pues para que esté hablando ahorita de eso, o sea, it was.
Okay.
To me, it was bad. So I had to go through a process of ¿cómo se dice?
Was it maybe like knowing that, first of all, that you're going to quit, right? Like getting into that, because maybe you like what you did and you didn't want to quit?
Well, so the thing is, I love what I did.
Okay.
That's why I got that position, because I was like, oh, this is perfect. I love makeup. At the time, I was still doing my YouTube channel. So I was like, this is perfect. Like, this is going to be even better for me to post more stuff. Maybe it'll give me more content. Yo acá pensando, in the influencer way. And it didn't let me feel comfortable enough to do that.
Interesting.
Because the lady was stalking. To this day, she was stalking everything I was doing.
To this day?
Yeah, to this day.
Wow.
So she would
get good then.
She would be out for lunch or like her vacation, and then she would text me and be like, did you post this during your working time? And I'm like, ay, wait, No, like I posted that during my lunch, cositas así. So I was like, yeah, I definitely cannot
Wow.
mix the two. And every day I was gonna quit. Every day for 2 years, every day I
How
was gonna
come
quit
you took so long?
because at the time I needed the income. I'm not gonna lie, I needed the income. Before that I was a stay-at-home mom, and so we only had
Okay.
my husband's income.
Okay.
And yeah, things were getting pretty tight at home as far as money wise. So that's the only reason why I stuck around.
Wow.
The things that you'll do for money.
Yeah, deja tú. Let's really talk about it because I have never been in a situation that I don't like what I do. Like for an extended period, if it was maybe a bad day, whatever. But I'm sure there's a lot of people in your case, deja tú, because now that you tell me the why, pues that makes sense.
Yeah.
Single parents, single moms, because they have a job that maybe they wanted, that they're getting good money, and that they can't quit even though it's unhappy, right? So any recommendations, anything that maybe can help them through the process? Of course, I doubt anybody's going to be like, oh, I'm going to quit thanks to Romy talking about that. I doubt it. But at the same time, maybe the process, any advice that you have for maybe people that are in a similar situation about not liking their job, but at the same time needing to work?
That is a good question.
That's
I don't
what we do
know.
here.
I can't really say because I felt stuck. I literally felt stuck for 2 years. And my husband will tell you every day I cried going to work, coming home. It was hell. And it's such an easy job. It's just selling
just
makeup.
The people. Wow.
Just the people that you work with. So, I mean, I would say if you're not happy, get out. Like now. Like don't wait. There's something better for you. Doors are going to open for you regardless. Get out. And that's what I tried to tell myself for those 2 years. And I'm like, okay, get out. Okay, this is it. Okay, this is it. Okay, this is it. Y no se me hacía. So then I ended up going back to her a little bit. I ended up reporting her. I made a big deal about it because it was bad. It was that bad.
Wow.
And I reported her and everything. And she ended up quitting. She left. So they moved me up to the management position. And I thought, okay, from here, it's going to get better. It got worse.
What?
It got worse. It got worse.
Siento que estamos en la Rosa de Guadalupe right now. Talk to me as far as why. You pensé, okay, well, that was your problem. So then?
It got worse because she would always be there. And since she wasn't an employee,
she was a customer?
She was a customer now. And she would go
what?
all the time. See, I don't know if you want to put this in there, but she would go all the time. And me instigaba, like she would kind of instigate me to see if I would do something so that she can report me the employee.
And you couldn't
I reported that to the store management, to the general manager, to my boss, to my company. Nobody ever did anything.
Oh my God.
That's why it was the worst.
How long were you on already in your new position? Before you quit?
I was there for like a year and a half.
Okay, so half year unemployed, starting, right, me imagino, and then after that, that's when a year and a half. So now you're getting paid even more money. That must be so frustrating.
I know, and see, all for the money. It goes, and I'm like, damn, just one more check. Like, what can I do? To be honest, I applied at different other places. I had my own business when I was at home. I had a tutu business. I would make tutus and t-shirts for little girls. So
I was gonna just ask what tutus. I was like, what?
Tutu couture. Sí.
I'm thinking numbers. Like tutus. Like, okay, I know what you mean now.
No,
okay.
son falditas de
niñas, right?
Sí, de
like
niñas.
For dance lessons.
No, for birthdays. Well, I had originally done it for dance because I started doing them because of my daughter. I know we're kind of going everywhere. I started doing them because of my daughter because she was in ballet when she was 4. And from there, it just like picked up and everybody started getting orders. And then all of a sudden, so-and-so referred me. And
so you had that. Was that an official business, registered business or no?
See, that was official. Yeah.
Okay. Y dijiste tú, okay, so I have that and then I have my job. And that's when you said maybe it's time to quit. Is that what happened? Okay,
well, I was at home for 4 years. I had my son, my little one, Sebastian, and my husband and I made the decision that I would stay home with him and just kind of raise him because daycare would be a lot more expensive than, So during those first couple years, I really took my business, pretty hard on, and I was doing it full time. It was definitely not easy because I was at home and I had the 3 kids and the baby and, but it was manageable and I liked it, but we needed something more. We needed more income. So years passed. Then my husband's like, you know what? I think it's time. Like, I think you should get a job. Y yo, ¡ay, qué!
Espérame, let's have another child.
Otro, mira un perrito. No, so it was definitely a hard transition for me, for my kids, for my little one, because he was 4
Really?
or 3 or 4 when I first started working. 4. And so it was hard. And
what was the final straw? Like, what happened that, dijiste, okay, this is
leave?
it? Yeah.
To leave the job? Well, my business. It took off. And you know what? It's funny because it had taken off months before. What
does that mean? I know that you mean that it was going well. You had a lot of sales, but I'm sure there was like, okay, now this maybe I'm earning more here than over here. Is that like what that means? Or
no, just sales, just
income, steady. At least there was steady income that you can count with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't like to talk about numbers, but I was making because I buy houses and whatnot and sell them and whatnot. So
tell me first, because nos fuimos del dress business to this. So talk to me about the other.
About the business. Okay, so going back to the business. This is me. My brain is all over the place.
You're good.
About the tutu business. So I started doing that. I was doing that, and then I was like, oh, we need more income. So then that's when I applied for the job, multiple jobs. I decided to go with that one because it's makeup related, and that's what I was doing at the time. I was doing my business and I was doing YouTube consistently, uploading maybe 2 to 3 times a week, I would say at one point. And so I got the position and I was very happy. I was excited. I was so happy for that position. Y nada, it went sour, and it went sour very fast. And while I'm trying to get out of that position, I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? You know, I don't want to be here for very long. Let me go back to the tutu. So I did. I went back to my business for a little bit, and it was hard. It was hard to balance my job, my full-time job, and my kids and my business. I couldn't find a way to make it work. So I said, okay, well, what gives me a steadier income? Well, for right now, unfortunately, my job does. So I stopped doing my tutus again. And I decided this time I'm going to stop doing them indefinitely until, who knows, you know, till this day I haven't done them again. So that was about like in 2018 was the last time I did them.
How did the other business start then? Because you were still in the job
I was still at the job that I was there. And I say this to everybody, that new real estate business, it was heaven sent. It really was. It was something that we were not planning to do, my husband and I, and it just fell on our laps.
What does that mean?
It really did. So I was miserable every day, literally crying, going to work and coming to work, like, ya no puedo más, like, no me puedo más, yeah, I'm done. And one day in July 2019, I'll never forget the day, July 2019, it was like early couple days of July, because we were planning a trip to San Antonio for my niece's wedding. And I was washing dishes. My husband comes up to me and he's like, I have the perfect thing that's going to help us. That's going to help you leave your job. That's going to just help the whole family in a whole. And him and I are always thinking of the next best thing, or the hustle mode in us, you know, both of us. And
before him, let me interrupt you because I will forget. Did you have this in you, this personality? I know your mom had a business. I'm thinking the answer is yes. Pero did he influence you more, or did you maybe influence him to have that mindset? Because not a lot of people have that mindset. Que hay que buscar, by the way.
I think we both had it.
Okay.
I had it for sure when I was little. Going back to my mom, so she did a lot of things. One of the things that she would do is she would buy pallets of like returned merchandise from like Bloomingdale's, Macy's, JCPenney, Sears, returned and broken stuff, and she would get that and sell it at the swap. So in those things, in those pallets, they would come like, sometimes they would come like t-shirts, hair accessories for girls. And there was this one time where in a pallet, she had little cubes of body glitter. And I got one and I was like, oh, can I keep it? My mama, ay, pues sí, claro, like whatever. Oh my God, there's another one. Oh my God, look, for me and my niece. Oh my God, like, oh, there's another one. So I ended up with like 30 or 40 little body glitters. And I told her, Mom, can I take these to school and can I sell them? And she's like, ay, mira esta, pues nomás que no te hagan tonta, me dijo. ¿A cuánto los vas a vender? And I think I was selling them for like $2 or $3, little pods. And and I would even put it on and be like, oh, so that the girls at school could be like, oh, where'd you get that from? Oh, well, actually, I sell it. O sea, this was in 4th grade.
That's awesome.
Sí me hicieron tonta.
Okay.
But I mean,
y todavía hasta la fecha, we'll talk about that post, definitely. You know what I'm talking about.
No, sí me hicieron tonta. But I think, like, it was the intention behind it, you know? Like, the little hustler in me.
All right, so now let's fast forward, because that's so amazing, like, when either, I don't know if either people are born with it, but, like, let's say me, that I don't, like, any family members, immediate family members, they don't have a business, anything like that, so it's a little bit hard, even though a lot of people have that of, oh, we should have a business. But, okay, have you really done it, and you know what's going to work, what's not? So going back to the business that you said, that your husband is the one that approached you with, okay, so I have this idea, and you were okay with it. And the reason why I want to...
Not really.
Pero not okay with the business, but meaning with the same mindset of we need to find something. Because you'll be surprised the number of wives or husbands que maybe someone wants to, hey, hay que buscarle. No, you know what, I'm comfortable here. Or even if you're comfortable in a sense, but you're not happy, so you're not really comfortable, right? Whatever that is. And again, and I've been saying this lately, the importance of having the right partner that shares the same values. No que estén 24/7 kissing, I'm not talking about that, but some of the important stuff. And it sounds like, okay, well, at least that mindset. Ahora sí, let's go back to, so he approached you with the idea, and then what happened?
He approached me with it, and I was washing dishes, and he's like, I have the perfect idea, because like I said, we're always looking for the next best thing. Our goal, me and him, is to have a sustainable life where we can spend more time with our kids, working smarter, not harder. That's what we say. So he's like, oh, I have this idea, and I'm like, I literally said, oh, Victor, like, oh, babe, like, now what? No,
Ahí vas otra vez con queriendo vender
here's another. Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story later on. So he's like, no, look, you keep washing the dishes, and I'm gonna put this phone right here. Just keep washing them. Watch the video. And it was about the real estate and the flipping houses, and I was like, dude, we don't even have money to pay our own mortgage. Like, how are we gonna buy a house? We literally weren't. We were on the brink of bankruptcy. We were seriously considering filing for bankruptcy. And he's like, no, but just watch it, just finish it all the way through. And I was like, okay. So I'm halfway through the video, I stopped the dishes, and I was like, wow, like, this sounds way too good to be true. I said, is this real? He's like, this is real. So for the next like 2-3 weeks, I embedded myself on YouTube University, I call it. I watched every single video that it had to do with that, and I just learned, and I soaked it up as much as I could. And I was like, you know what? I mean, we got nothing to lose, so let's try it out. We did seminars, we did trainings, and
which all this is costing you money.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. Money that we didn't even have. Yeah. It's crazy. So we did it. We took a risk, and I said, you know what? I think by the end of July, I said, well, you know what? I have a pretty good, decent following. Let's try it out. Let's make a post. We buy houses. Si cae uno, y si no, pues we'll just keep trying. A couple weeks later, boom, there it is, my first sale, and I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Wow. Okay. I want to go back a little bit to it because when I watch podcasts or episodes, I hate when there's like something there, and I'm sure like I have follow-up questions and they don't ask. Not that I ask everything, but what is it that you guys did different? Because I'm sure that video lo vieron 100,000 people, right? And happens a lot. Everything works, by the way, but then there's a lot of discipline, a lot of things that you have to do right. Absolutely. That's when people no hacen eso, and they're like, oh, this doesn't work. No, espérame. That works. It's you that didn't work for that. So now looking back, and I'm sure there's a lot of people after you, that family members, friends, family, that they have maybe tried that and not servido. So why did it work for you?
I don't know. We wanted it. We wanted it bad enough. And both of us, we've always wanted to be in the real estate. I was actually studying for my license. Y la verdad, me aburro. I get bored. If I'm like just sitting there reading a book, I will not finish it unless it has to be extremely interesting in order for me to just sit down and finish it in one reading. So I had been struggling for years to finish my real estate license. So him and I, my husband and I both have had that little worm for real estate. So when this came up, we were like, well, why not? And we're the type, both of us, it's so weird that we're like, we're not going to stop until we know for a fact that we cannot do it. That's about basically what it is. So we tried it and we were like, if it works, it works. So then I got the first sale, the first call, actually, not even the first sale, because it takes months. Real estate takes forever. The first call, the first appointment, the first house we went to go see was in early September. So that was posted in July. And mind you, in between that, there was calls here and there, but the first actual house that I went to go see was in early September, late August. And we didn't even know what we were doing. After watching so many videos, after going to so many trainings and so many everything, we really didn't know what we were doing. I will be 100% honest with you. But we're the type also that are like, we see it like a baseball game. Like, okay, whatever's going to get us to the home, from the home base to the first plate. And then once we get to the first plate, we'll figure out how the heck we're going to get to the second plate. And then from the second plate, we'll figure it out later. Like, there's got to be a way, but we're going to do this. We're going to get this done. So I don't know. I think it goes back to the same thing. Like we both are hungry for that. We both are hungry for our whys, which is obviously, like I said, being with our kids. So it takes a tremendous amount of discipline and persistence to be able to do what it said to do on that video. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's so interesting.
Absolutely.
Because again, and this happens a lot, that of course we all have that mentality of, we see crypto coins, no, like, or whatever the thing is for that week or month, right? Mm-hmm. Not saying anything against that, because if people are making money, you can for sure. But then the majority of people will try it, but I guess there's a disconnect between trying it like hard enough that you have to, like that discipline that are you really gonna do this? Especially, let's call it fitness, for example. Everyone wants to be fit, mm-hmm. right? Pero pues, ¿vas a dejar de tragar? Are you gonna exercise? No. For a little bit you will, pero ya no. And the same thing applies to a lot of things, right?
Absolutely.
So as you're telling me the story, I'm like, oh, espérame, there's something here, because the fact is that I'm sure a lot of people watched the video, but it's on the execution that you guys were able to, because you have that.
Of course.
Great. All right, nos fuimos atrás de la historia.
Everywhere.
Okay, so you're doing good in this business now.
You asked me who I was. My mind is everywhere.
Hey, this is perfect. So you're doing good in this business, in real estate, and that's when you say, okay, now I can quit this job.
Yeah, I started doing really good. I would say, well, we started it in July of 2019. I got first couple sales. I had set myself a goal to quit that job by the December 31st of 2019. And, good thing I didn't, because then shortly after the pandemic was going to hit, and who knows what would have been of us, And I had said to myself, okay, mentally, if I close on X amount of houses, I'm going to leave. And I had the houses in closing, but they never closed. So I was like, well, technically they're not closed. So it's money that I have, but it's sitting in escrow. So I can't, I can't move. I can't make that monopoly move right now. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stick it out. My husband too, he has his own business. He had planned to close it up and close shop and just focus on that 100% on the real estate. Same thing. He was like, and to this day, he's still struggling. I'm like, babe, just leave. Like, just close it up. Like, you don't even need it anymore. But it's his own escape. That's a whole other story. So then come January, February, March, I started closing on all the houses that I had in escrow. And I kept saying, okay, this is it. And there was just something that was not letting me let it go. And then come March, boom, the pandemic. So I was like, damn, imagine if I would have quit. I would have struggled, because real estate closes in months. It takes months, sometimes even a year. I've had one actually that's been about a year and a half that it's been in the process of closing. So you never know with it. And so March hit, I got my first really, really, really big sale. And by big, I mean I made on that property, I made as much as I make in a year at this job. So I was like, damn, okay, well, I could technically leave, but the pandemic is going on, so I don't know what's going on. At the same time, I was on a leave from work because we were not essential. And I took full advantage of that time.
Were you getting paid? Were you working at home?
No, I wasn't working at home, but we were getting paid from the company, which is nice.
Yeah.
De algo sí sirvió.
Sí.
Si no sirve de algo.
Y después you quit, by the way.
Yeah, and I quit. So then that was in March. I held off because, again, we were getting paid. I was taking full advantage of it. Why not, And houses were kind of scarce because people, to this day, they were not getting foreclosed unless they absolutely had to sell their house. So come October, I made another big sale, making more than what I make in a year at this job. And I said, you know what, that's it. And to myself, I said, you know what, because they had called us back to work in August. And I said, if they piss me off, and I've said this before, I said, if they piss me off at work today, I'm leaving on the spot.
Si alguien me voltea a ver a los ojos, I'm done.
Right? Que me la caguen aquí, yo me voy inmediatamente. And I'll be honest with you, I was waiting for that moment because
You wanted that moment.
I wanted that moment. Yeah. I wanted that moment of power. And it never happened. So then come October, I started getting very sick and I had to take some time off of work and go back home. And I said, you know what? I think I'm ready. Like, I think I should have done this a long time ago. I think this is it. I told my husband, tanteándolo, I was just messing with him. I was like, I already sent my resignation. And he's like, did you really? And I was like, yeah. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And I was like, okay, that's the okay for me. So I didn't tell him I didn't send it. But that same moment, I went back to my room. I wrote down that resignation letter on November 3rd. And I said, I'm done. See you later.
Wow.
And ever since then, I've been focusing on my business.
¿Cómo se sintió either that day or the next day that you're like, okay, this happened?
It was amazing.
It that same day that when you send it, that you felt that moment
that's success. As I was writing, I was shaking because I was like, I can't believe I'm finally here. It sounds like a Cinderella story, but I was like, I can't believe I'm finally here. I'm finally doing it. Like, this is it. And I'm leaving. The most amazing part was that I'm leaving for something a million times better, for my own business. Heck, at this point, I'm making way more than the general manager is probably making of the store in a year, you know? So I said, screw them all. I'm done. Y que si me hablan, que vente, que... No. So they did. They actually did.
They did.
As soon as I sent my resignation, the boss called me and he's like, I saw your, like, o sea, this came out of the blue. And I was like, I'm done. But why? I said, you know what? It's just my time. It's my time to go, and that's it. Well, if you ever need anything, any recommendations, I don't think I will. But thanks.
Wow. That's
Peace out. Como la mujer de Selena. No, can we try this on?
Wow. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing, by the way.
I was done. So ever since then, it's been amazing. Okay. One door closes and literally, like it says, one door closes, five doors open.
My thing, my saying in life, it's always no pasa nada. Somehow, some way you'll make it happen. Mm-hmm. It took you a long time, especially because you were unhappy. But again, I'm glad, obviously, that worked out. And at the same time, I'm really hopeful that maybe someone eventually like, hey, yeah, let's quit. If you're unhappy to the point that you described, well, that's terrible. Not healthy anymore. Pero bueno, thank you for sharing that. Let's go ahead and go into our next subject. Let's talk about social media, of course.
Yeah.
You've been active on social media, correct me if I'm wrong, for 5 years. Mm-hmm. Why you do it? What's your motivation? ¿Qué dijiste? Hey, I want to be the next Kardashian. What happened there?
No, not even. You know what? I did it to make myself feel better. I was staying at home. I was obviously in lounge clothes all the time.
Wait a second. This is 5 years ago.
Yeah, I was working. I was not working. I was a stay-at-home.
Okay, I was thinking during COVID. My bad.
No. This was in 2000. At the end of 2016 is when I started my current Instagram. November, if I'm not wrong. And then my first YouTube video hit February 2nd of 2017.
Okay.
So I was at home. I was at home with the kids all the time. And I was like, damn, I need like some kind of interaction with other women, you know? And make myself feel good in a way. So I honestly, to be honest with you, I started it to make myself feel good, to make myself get ready, to force myself to get ready. Because I was kind of not letting myself go.
What do you mean to get ready? Does it mean like maybe you were bored home, you needed an outlet to interact with other people? Is that what we're talking about?
I needed an outlet to interact with other women, other moms. But at the same time, to get ready, what I mean is to do my makeup or to get pretty or to do this. Because, I mean, really the only times I was getting ready makeup-wise and whatnot was to go out with my husband somewhere, an event or whatnot, movies, whatever. So that is why. And I love makeup. So my love for makeup started growing. I've always loved it, but I think it started growing, I want to say like in 2011, 2010. And I actually wanted to start the YouTube channel since back then, but something in me was not confident enough to do it. I don't know why.
Okay. Now, when you started this, did you say, I want to go professional on this, meaning like generate content, or was it I'm just doing it for fun?
Yeah, just doing it for fun. So I would do my makeup, post it, and then back in the day, you would tag the companies, like I don't know, like the makeup companies, and I just started doing it, and so women would be like, "Oh wow, I like your lipstick," or "I love your eyeshadow," or "I love this and I love that," and I'm like, "Oh wow, like this is weird, but this is cool. Like it's actually working. Like not only am I feeling better about myself, but I'm helping someone know, or I'm letting other women know that hey, you could be a mom, or you could be a stay-at-home mom and still get ready and still look cute and still feel good about yourself and not forget who you are at the end of the day."
Nice. Okay. So we started this as fun. When did you decide to take it seriously? Meaning that, oh, okay, there's something here. Again, I'm having fun, but at the same time, there might be something else here, right? So after how long did that happen?
That was in 2017. I would say like in 2018. That was when I started collaborating a lot with Ragaza Bazaar. It is a local modeling agency.
How did this happen, though? You were posting a lot. They reached out, and you got that DM. He says, "Oh my God!" Or how did this happen?
What? That's a good question. I got connected with them because... Oh, I remember. Okay, so again, the little hustler in me, I was staying at home and I was trying to figure out a way to bring in some extra income because I'm always all about multiple streams of income all the time, every day. So I was like, well, I'll start a marketing company. I love Gary Vee. So I saw that he does it and I wanted to model what he was doing. So I started reaching out to companies and I'd be like, hey, you know what? I have a small influence online. I can help you grow your business.
How many followers you had at this time?
I don't even know. I want to say, I don't even know. Less than 10,000 for sure.
Okay, which is a lot.
Yeah,
but more than 1,000 people.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I would say, I don't even know. I would lie if I said a number. Definitely less than 10,000, probably even less than 5,000. I really don't know.
Which is still a lot, by the way.
Really?
Well, te digo, yo tengo como a tres. Mi tío, mi mom, my daughter, which I have to beg her to like my post every time. I'm just joking.
El perro.
Sí, algo. No, but what I'm trying to say is, okay, so you start your Instagram, I'm thinking from 0 followers, just family and friends. So then it began growing because you were doing makeup. I'm thinking, and a lot of people, people little by little, are like, oh, I like what she's doing, right? My take is, when is it that you look back that said, oh my God, I went from 500 family and friends to now 1,000? Do you remember that moment that you're like...
I really don't, because it's been so long. See, and that's probably why, going back to the mainly women that follow me, that's why only women follow me, because I was just posting stuff for women. But I really don't remember the time where it hit 1,000. The thing is, I brought my Instagram over from my personal Instagram. So on my personal Instagram that I had since like 2012, 2011, I made a post on there and I said, you know what, guys, I'm going to start this page. If you want to follow me, fine. If you don't want, that's fine. And on that personal one, I had friends, family, high school friends, school friends, college friends, work friends, whatever. So a lot of them did end up migrating. They were probably like, Pepo's like, ay, esta que, like, what is this crazy girl up to now, you know? So I really don't think, and I don't want this to sound like conceited, but I really don't.
Anyway, so go ahead.
I really don't think it took me that much to get to 1,000, if that makes sense, because of everyone else because I think on my personal page I had like about, I want to say like 2,000 to 3,000 followers on the personal.
On your personal one?
On the personal one.
You sound like a very friendly person, huh?
Yeah.
Like family and friends, and oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
I did have quite a bit on my personal one, so a lot of them did migrate over to this one. So it didn't really take me that much to get to the first 1,000.
Okay, now let's go back. So yeah, dijiste still, okay, I've been following Gary Vee, other influencers. Like if there's some money, I want to get some money, right? So then that's when you reach out to some companies, and then what happened?
Yeah, I reached out to different companies. One of them was this tax company, and
a tax
like
company. Texas?
Yeah, like your income taxes.
Oh, okay.
And it was a friend that I had her on Facebook, and I had reached out to her, and I went and I did her, my whole spiel for my business or whatnot. And I think she did end up doing it for like a month.
What was your spiel?
my spiel, like, hey, you know what, I have a small following, I can help you with your business and help you grow a little bit, get you more customers and whatnot. And it did work. I didn't continue doing it because it's a lot of work. Like, I could barely do it for myself and my business, you know. Like, what am I thinking doing it for someone else? But she did. She went with it for like a month. And shortly after our meeting, she calls me and she's like, hey, I have a friend who has pageants and she has a modeling agency. And I was like, oh, God. I said, no, I don't model. Like, I'm too short for that. And now I'm too chunky for that. But back then I wasn't. And she was like, no. Like, she actually was interested in having like a meeting with you. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And that's when I was like, oh, my God, like, this is cool. Like, people are actually like seeing my stuff, you know.
That's so cool. Yeah.
And I went on a meeting with her, which, hi Nancy, in case she's watching this. And I remember we met at Whole Foods on the west side, and I was so nervous because I didn't know what she was gonna come bring to the table, you know. And she's like, yeah, well, I want to bring you on. She's like, I've seen your stuff, and I would like for you to like host my fashion shows and my like my beauty pageants that we have several times a year. This is what we do, da 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 da. And I was like, what? And she's like, and we also
host them.
Yeah, host them. And she's like, I also partner up with some of the radio stations around town. So have you seen the remotes? That they don't do them anymore because of COVID, but on the weekends that they say, hey, estamos aquí en Viva Shamali Ford, come get some tacos and we have some deals. Yeah, I know, I've heard them. She's like, yeah, well, we do that as well with Kiss FM and KLAQ. And so we have different events throughout the year, and you know, I would love for you to go every single Saturday to those remotes so that you can do a live and help me promote them, you know, and whatnot. And I was like, what? Like, me? I said, why me?
That's so cool.
But it was so cool. It was, oh man, it was so much fun. So that started in 2018. And yeah, I mean, I was able to meet the DJs from the radio, and it was so much fun. I loved it so much. And hosting the pageants, the Miss El Paso, Miss Teen El Paso.
And then going back to your shy personality, did you struggle not being shy for those events?
No. See, the thing is, I am shy, and it's funny you bring that because not a lot of people know that. I am very shy.
Según tú, by the way, because so far nothing, like, I can't tie the knots here as far as, okay, well, where's the shy person?
I don't know. I'm shy. I don't know how to explain this. I'm shy in the fact that... I
have to with 2,000 friends and family. You're not the shy one, I'm sure. By the way, you're the friendly one. There's something going on here.
But the thing is, see, I love the stage. Okay. I love the spotlight. I'm a Leo. Like I said, I'm going back to the horoscope. I'm a Leo.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Leo, and we love the spotlight. And I always knew since I was little that I wanted to be like on the stage, like in some sort of spotlight. I knew that was my calling since it sounds so cliche.
No, it doesn't.
But I knew it. Going back to like my childhood, I would dance along the living room with my niece, forcing her, come on, Priscilla, now we're going to sing Selena again. And I would put all my monitos on the floor, my little stuffed animals, and they were my audience, and I would perform for them. But I would never perform for my mom. That's where it comes to being shy.
Okay.
So I wouldn't perform for my mom. I wouldn't perform for like my family. I would just perform for myself.
Okay.
And for my monos. For my.
Yo analizando las cosas. Give me a second.
Let me see what kind of crazy is she.
Wow. Okay. So you had a lot of fun doing that stuff, right?
So much fun.
Did you ever deal with any insecurities as far as like, but see, I don't like this stuff. I don't like my pictures. I don't like the way I look. Maybe some people giving you some hate. Did you ever deal with any insecurities at first, especially?
No, I didn't. I mean, obviously, oh man, let me go back. Yeah, I did. Because it's so different when somebody else is taking your pictures than to when you take a selfie, you know, obviously, because you know your angles, you know this, you know that. And I remember I did. I will not lie. I did not like my photos when they were first taking them of like the pageants and whatnot. But after a while, I was like, you know what, if this is what I want to do and if this is what I like to do, I have to get over that. Get over yourself. Like, that's it. It is what it is.
Wow.
And it is what it is. I mean, that's what you look like, you know. It doesn't matter what angle you do the picture, like that's así te ves, o sea.
How long did it take you? Because it sounds really simple. Acá, no, but just get over it. Acá, you pat your back or something. But I mean, it's pretty cool, but I'm sure there's people, and I know I have had follow-up questions from people when they say, well, just do it. But for a lot of people, it's not as simple, right? So I'm trying to see if there's maybe a process, some tips, tricks on how to get over that.
Not really, because to me, in my head, I was like, okay, Ramona, if you don't like it, well, if you don't post that photo of you hosting that big pageant, people are not going to know that you didn't do it. And people are not going to see, or future potential clients, potential, anything that's in the future, they're not going to know that you did it because you didn't post it. Si te viste fea, si te viste greñuda, si te viste gorda, si te viste flaca, like, who cares? Like, you are who you are, and you should post it because you never know who is going to see that picture. You never know who's going to say, oh, hey, let's get her to do the next thing, or let's get her to do the next best thing.
Wow, that's so funny that we're talking about this, because we were talking about this before the podcast started, that I've been invited to 2 podcasts. I now have a TV show, Elevate el Paso, by the way. Saturdays, 9:30 to 10. TV Azteca Televisa, well, since I'm here. Pero I have not... Okay, any podcast, I haven't watched them back, because, like, I hate... Like, I kind of like start, and then as soon as I see something that I don't like, I'm like, oh my God, no lo veo. I haven't seen that. The TV show, I haven't seen that. I mean, I have to watch the podcast because I'm the one doing the editing. So I have to, but that's the worst thing ever. And then when I'm trying to analyze myself, why is that? Because I'm the most confident person ever. But then why is it that, for example, on social media, I haven't put it that I'm on TV?
Really?
So I'm like,
I didn't know.
Digo yo, what's going on? Because...
And you should.
Toda la gente que me conoce, oh, this guy's confident. But then why is it? What's the reason that's stopping me? I know I've been very busy, but I mean, you'll make it your priority if you have to. So as you're telling this, are you talking about this? I'm like, I wonder what is my thing. I know that, like I said, I graduated from marketing and advertising. So I know I'm promoting my brand. I know I'm doing this for that, but I know I need to be a little bit more active on social media, stuff like that. Pero like, no me gusta, lo pongo, no, sabes que no. And again, but then going back to you're shy or not, it's kind of like that with me as well, because super confident, but then y luego, pues, ¿por qué no haces eso? Like, maybe I'm not as confident. I don't know. But bueno, we'll have a follow-up episode on my confidence.
Yeah, you should post. I mean, like, it goes down to that. Like, you never know who's going to see it.
And it's funny, like, because I don't...
It's about, it's just part of branding yourself.
I know, pues te digo, pero like, first of all, the reason why I don't watch my stuff, porque me da cosa, la regaste, hiciste esto, like, you made up a word, you mispronounced something, like, and then, like, I haven't promoted the TV show, because it's so weird to me to say, hey guys, I have a TV show.
That's awesome.
But that sounds so weird, like, when I tell some friends, like, hey, I'm on TV. Okay, like, you know, and to me it's still so weird.
Yeah, it is weird. I'll admit that, because when people do come up to me, even family friends are like, hey, well, tell us. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about it. And even though everything's out in the open, I'm like, no, like, no, I don't want to.
Wow, that's so funny. Talking about family and friends, when you started doing this, or maybe this right now, is there any people that you remember that a lo mejor you don't talk to anymore, or anyone that like, ¿qué se cree está haciendo esto? And maybe you got a little bit of hate on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely have gotten a lot of hate for it, even from people that disguised themselves behind the screen and became bullies, keyboard warriors. I later found out who it was.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Porque todo sale al aire.
Siento que estamos acá en Ventaneando or
¿verdad?
something.
Cafecito.
Oh my God, it's so good.
¿Dónde está el cafecito?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did. And it was very ugly. And you know what? It's very sad because...
Was it a close person, family member, or friend, or someone that you, of course,
it is
knew?
somebody that I know, but it's somebody that I don't talk to. So they knew every single aspect of my life. O sea, literalmente todo de mi vida. They had been stalking me for, I want to say, at least 10 years.
What?
Even before I had, like, this social media and whatnot. I'm telling you, I would post, like, my makeup and stuff and my kids and whatnot. And even back then, now that I know who it is, things just started clicking. And I'm like, oh, it was that account. That account was the one that, damn.
Was it negative comments? Was it, what was it?
Very ugly stuff. Very ugly stuff. Yeah, very ugly. Like,
how did you deal with that at that, like right now, because of course it's easy to talk about it now that you know the person, it seems there's closure there, but how did you deal with that at that moment? Like you posting something personal, I don't know what it was, but like getting that hate. What was that
so
process
weird.
like?
It was a YouTube video. It was all on YouTube. That's where it started.
Okay.
And I'm sure you've seen obviously this is on YouTube. The YouTube bar is literally this big, right? For the comment. And it says auto comment. O sea, está chiquito la barrita. The comments were literally this long.
Like
multiple. O sea, no nomás un párrafo. O sea, eran diferentes comentarios en diferentes videos.
Very personal about you.
Very personal stuff that I was like, who the hell is this? O sea, and take your kids back to Mexico and I'm going to call Trump. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm not even from Mexico. Like, o sea, mis papás nacieron en México y con mucha honra. Pero yo no. O sea, this is somebody that knows me but doesn't know me that well. So I was like, who the fuck?
How long did you deal with this? You said looking back time. 10 years. Pero was...
So the ugly comments started... I started my channel in February of 2017. They started like around March of that year. So I knew that putting myself out there on YouTube was going to bring hate because obviously that's what YouTube is known for now, especially now.
We'll talk about hate in a second, by the way. Hello?
But I didn't expect it to come so soon and I didn't expect it to be so personal. That was what bothered me, that it was so personal. The comments were so personal, talking about my kids and their name, not their names, but how many kids I had, saying that they know where I live and that they know everything about me and that I might not even know who they are, that they might be a family friend and you have no idea who you are because you're so stupid. And I was like, who is this? For years. And it went on for months. And I would delete it.
How did you process all this? Porque
well, I would read the messages.
You would block it, delete it, I'm sure. Pero luego?
Sí. I mean, I would read it and I'd be like, well, trying to analyze it. Like, who is this? Like, it has to be somebody that I know. And my brain would just kind of like a Rolodex, you know, kind of going through all of my family, friends, close people. Like, could it be this person? No, but I don't think they would be. I mean, these were mean, very mean, very, very mean and degrading comments. Wow. Criticizing my face, criticizing everything about me, everything. It was so ugly.
Did it ever get to a point that you wanted to maybe like quit your videos?
No, absolutely not. No, because I knew that this was somebody that I knew and somebody that was doing it on purpose to tear me down, to make me stop what I was doing. And I'm the kind of person that's like, no, hell no. Si algún día termino de hacer lo que estoy haciendo es porque yo quiero terminar de hacer lo que yo estoy haciendo. Like, nobody else is going to make me or force me to stop doing whatever it is that I love to do. Wow. So I would block and delete, and screenshot everything. I reported it to the police, as a matter of fact. Endless accounts. I'm not joking, Eli. It must have been about 20 fake accounts.
Wow.
In the course of... That was since 2017 and it stopped in 2019, I think. 2020 was the last time I got an ugly message like that.
Okay. Now, are you able to share how you found out who it was?
Sure. Why not? For it. So I found out because... So it was weird how I found out. There was this one account on Instagram that would follow me and they would post nothing but product shots. And I'd be like, who the hell is this? And it says it's from El Paso. And they had like 16,000 followers. Who the hell is this? And I originally thought it was one of my friends. So I messaged her and I was like, hey, is this your account? Like, do you have it? No, dude, like, that's not my account. I don't even use that brand. Like, that brand is ugly. Okay. Yes, sí lo dejé. And I picked that up like years ago. That account, I noticed it years ago. And I noticed that they never liked any of my stuff. But I noticed that they were the first to see my stories. And how you could see your stories and who sees it. And I'm like, okay, well, así que quede. Like, they're not doing any harm. So fast forward to 2020. One of the many ventures of my husband and I is doing shows. We used to do shows back in the day. We used to throw raves.
We're going to talk about that, by the way.
And so in 2020, we kind of had like the little worm of doing it. And we wanted to invest in a show. So we did. Long story short, we were meeting with the bar owner where we were going to host the event. And he was like, you know what, guys, I'm very upset. This was in July of last year. COVID is about to shut the city down again. Okay. But we didn't know that. I'm very upset. Like, I got tagged on this post on Instagram from this account, and my husband and I looked at each other. He's like, it seems like it's somebody of great influence because they have 16,000 followers. And I was like, that account, that account has 16,000 followers. For some reason, like, it took me to that account. And I said, can I see the message? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? And he pulls it up, and my heart sank to my floor, because that specific account was just talking down of our show, that esta gente nomás hace lo que quiere.
Me go back. That most likely me perdí yo.
Sí.
Okay, so you're into the promoting whichever event, but then this person is the bar owner. They said, no, we're not going to host it.
No, he said it's fine. But
okay, and then ¿cómo salió ese mensaje that he got again?
So he was all for the show, right?
Uh-huh.
But he was getting worried because he said that this person of great influence is making posts on Instagram talking down on the show, and he's like, and it's going to look bad on my establishment.
Okay. Not specifically to you, talking down on that show. I mean, on that bar that they were going to have that show.
No, not on the bar, on the show in itself. So what this person did is they took a screenshot of one of my promotion posts for the show, and they kind of they literally crossed out my name, but it was my post. It was my post.
Yeah.
And instead of tagging me, they tagged the location, the venue, and they tagged somebody else. So that's why the venue was worried about it. So
this person's talking to you about it. You check that account, and it's the same account.
And it's the same account. So my husband and I are sitting next to each other, and I asked the bar owner, I said, can I see the message? Like, I'm curious, because I'm not to be, echándole tacos, crema a los tacos, pero pues yo también tengo una cuenta grande en Instagram, so I wonder who it is. Is it from El Paso? Yeah, it says it's from El Paso. So I see it, and I was like, what the hell? It's that account. Like, to myself, I'm like, it's that account that I've always wondered who the hell it is. And my husband looks at me, and he's like, do you know who it is? And I said, honestly, I don't know who it is, but I have had my suspicions about this account. Can you send it to me? So he sends it to me so that I can go back home and analyze the account, and I did. Obviously, that post was from like past 24 hours ago, so it wasn't on there anymore. So I was like, who is this? And I was trying to figure out who it is. I couldn't figure out because they never post pictures of themselves. And I left it like that. That was in July. I was pissed, though, because they were messing with my money, essentially, telling people not to go.
And now you're saying this is personal in a way. I mean, you can't confirm it, pero ya ahorita, like, okay, there's something. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And my husband was even more upset, because one thing is, both of us, it's like, you don't mess with our money. So he's like, who the is this? And I'm like, I don't know, but we'll get to the bottom of it. Either way, it's going to come out.
Yeah.
You never underestimate the power of karma, for sure. And that was in July. A month later, my daughter comes home from being over at her dad's house. Okay. And his girlfriend, he's been with her for about, I'd say about 10, 12 years. I know who she is only because we went to high school together, but I have never seen her. She's never gotten down and said, thank you for letting her come out. Never that type of relationship. And she's like, hey, I'm a little confused. She's like, I think she has like an Instagram. Like, I think it's pretty popular. And I said, why do you say that? And she said, well, because she has like so much skincare. And I was like, skincare?
Oh.
And wow. She's like, it's so much. She's like, Mommy, it's so much. Like, it's taking up the whole bathroom. And I was like, are you kidding me? And she's like, no, why? And I was like, no, it's okay. So I went on my phone and I looked up the account, and I called her back. She went to go put her stuff down or whatever. And I was like, Natalia, come here. Look at this account. Does any of that look familiar? And she's like, no. And I was like, what? And she's like, oh, that is her. That's her account. Like, this is what she does and blah, 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 blah. Because there was like a bio. It wasn't a selfie, but it was like a bio of the person. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure that is, who we think it is? And she's like, I'm positive it's her. And all hell broke loose. It was her all along. The YouTube videos, the comments.
Veme cómo estoy ahorita.
I was enraged. My whole life,
Do you feel relieved a little bit? Like, yeah, finally I found this person?
I felt relieved, but I felt so deceived. I felt so violated, because I go back and everything just kind of flashed, and I'm like, this is the same account that has seen all of my life everything, the inside of my house, my bathroom, my floors, everything, because I
so
share everything,
yeah. Wow.
And yet this person has never had the decency to even look at me in the face in person when I'm dropping off my daughter or when I'm getting her back from them. And it just, it made me feel so violated, and my daughter too. She felt so bad.
I can't. I'm not gonna go there, but I can just imagine again having to deal with those situations. ¿Cuándo fue esto? Just to take me back.
Just recently, in August, September of 2020.
Last year, apenas.
Couple months ago.
Wow.
And yo no me quedo con la boca callada. Like, if something like that's gonna happen,
I'm sure it was a big deal, right?
And you're gonna mess with my kids, importantly, because what was the intention? You don't talk to me in person.
Yeah.
But what's your intention? Like, why are you spying on my life?
For years, it's not.
For so long. So I sent this person a DM before blocking them, and I sent, very nice. I said, it's very unfortunate, and I posted all of this online. Actually, it's still there. I don't care. It's still
okay,
there.
Good. Then I have so many follow-up questions.
Yeah, you have to go into my Instagram. So I said, you know what? It's very unfortunate that this is happening. Had I known that it was you, we could have had a very different relationship as a co-parenting thing. Like, this is like, we have so many similarities. Obviously, you like things that I like too. This could have had a very different approach, and it's so sad to see that an educated person, because they carry themselves as so educated and so they're such activists, and they're
college graduate.
Yeah,
es lo que te digo, que escuela no importa. Pero bueno.
No importa. Mi mamá dice la escuela no quita lo corriente y lo naquito.
The emotional intelligence, Alexandra, I was talking about that. That it doesn't matter how educated, wealthy, whatever it is, if you can't process stuff like that, because I'm sure there's like a reason why. Oh my God. Okay.
So I was like, why? And I was like, you know what? I found out who it is. My daughter knows who it is now, so that now we can keep that barrier, and we can,
Pero how can your daughter follow up? Because tú como quien dice, pues, yeah, pero like she still has to. I don't want to get too personal as far as if they interact together. I won't get to that.
They don't.
Pero tu hija, like, I'm sure it's...
Yeah, that it was hard.
Because your daughter knew about what was going on, no? Me imagino, like, all those comments. Maybe at first no, pero se enteró or something.
Sí, I'm sure she had heard about them and whatnot. Porque when the comments started coming in, she was still pretty young. So I mean, obviously, I would share them with my husband, because it was ugly stuff. Like, do you wonder why your husband got home late this night? And it was because he was with me. Ha 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 ha. And I was like, what? Like, what? I even questioned him at one point. I said, pues, ¿qué estás haciendo, güey? No, nothing. Like, I don't know what this is. Like, we were both like stuck on finding out who this person was, and that's why I say karma's a bitch.
Wow.
Karma.
Okay. I don't know if I should say, well, I'm glad that ended well, but because it kind of did not. Pero, okay, well, that's over.
That was interesting.
All right, guys, so we're going to have a separate podcast for that story alone, for sure.
La Rosa de Guadalupe
Sí, siento ahorita que mi pelo acá, el airecito se está... Okay.
It was very, very interesting.
It was.
That's why everything that's done in the darkness is always going to come to light, no matter what.
Aside from if it doesn't, I mean, that person's suffering. That person.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets me, because, again, since I started this thing, I was like, I'm going to get some negative comments, something like either on my YouTube or on Instagram that I post. I don't post a lot on like about me on the podcast, pero le digo a mi niña, I want it to happen, because, to be honest, I want to show you how I really don't care. Like, I want to show you. But it's weird, because talking about my conflict, like I want a negative comment so I can tell, look, baby, like, this is what I'm telling you, that I really don't care. And me replying like, thank you, man. Like, I want to be, pero no agarró nada. So, like, not that I want them. Don't get me wrong. But when I get it, like, the first one, I start, I got it. Y luego pues I'll respond to that. Yeah. Any suggestions, anything that you can tell people that maybe dealing with haters, how to deal with that maybe helped you?
The thing is, like you said, I don't care. I really don't care. But since these were so long, I was like, this is personal. This is a personal attack. But other than that, like, just in general, hater comments, I really don't get them. But But even if I did, I don't care. But that's just me. Like I said before, like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. People are gonna like it. Some people are not gonna like it. So, you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. I don't know how to explain that. I really don't care. Like,
yeah, no,
I don't care.
I 100% understand. I'm just trying to see, can we break it down as far as what can someone, because again, it sounds really simple that I don't care, but the fact is there's some people that do, like, oh my God, I got this comment, because again, maybe when they were younger, they got bullied for that same comment. Y ahora it's bringing, like, there's so many other reasons. So I'm trying to, hopefully it's like maybe something that can help someone. Pero te digo, I know exactly what you mean as far as those comments. And the way I take it, again, not with any person, but if there's a lot of content that I don't like, a lot of people que digo yo, ¿qué pedo? ¿Qué es esto? Like, a lot. But I don't have that time to comment at all. No, I don't have time to dislike it. I don't have that comment to dislike. So whenever someone has
it's obviously somebody that, like you said right now, it's somebody that's struggling. It's somebody that's not happy with themselves. And instead of getting like mad or like upset or sad, I'm like, well, why is this person like, pobrecitos? O sea, they're really going through something really hard. Because like you said, they took their time to say something ugly, to write a paragraph to you, to tell you your eyebrows crooked, your smile's ugly. Like, at the end of the day, like, who cares? I mean, you know that you're not. So, and obviously this person is struggling with something, some sort of mental issue, maybe like a self-confidence issue.
That's a deep issue.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I don't take it personally. I don't care.
No, perfect.
I really don't. And I think to be on YouTube, to do everything that I do, the influencing and everything, you gotta have thick skin. You gotta know. And
you always need to understand what your goal is. Well, I'm sure that this is what I want. And again, even like, are you talking about the story, how everything makes sense? Not only what you do right now, but what you did and different aspects. Like, oh, it comes back to that mindset.
Oh, for sure.
Wow. What are some downfalls of being so active on social media?
Some downfalls of being so active? Híjole, that's a good question. Some downfalls of being so active.
I'm sure there's some negative. For the most part, it's really good. But me imagino yo, that's a lot of time, and maybe, I don't know, you tell me.
Well,
you're the influencer here.
I mean, I'm just so used to it by now. I guess the only downfall is I'm literally on my phone 24/7. If it's not making a post, or I like I tell you, I love Gary Vee, and I model a lot of my stuff after him. Like, he's always implemented that in order to be successful, you're supposed to like and comment on every single person's thing. And he has said it before, I will stay up until who knows what time of the night, liking and responding to every single comment. And I do that. I've always done that. I like to engage with my audience as much as I can and make them feel like I'm literally their friend and they know me, and they'll tell me, like, I feel like I know you because we talk online. And if they DM me, the ones that do, they know that I respond, and I'm very responsive. So I would say that the only downfall is that I spend way too much time on my phone. My phone is literally, and I have it right here with me. Like, my phone.
No lo has soltado, by the way. I'm trying for her to put it away.
I really might put it in your purse. My phone is literally my job. Like, it's my job. I would say that's the only downfall. That sometimes I do get carried away as a mom, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll be there right now.
You're maybe not there paying attention to your, maybe what's going on. Okay.
Sometimes. And then I catch myself, and I'm like, okay, stop. And I tell them, like, you know what, let me just answer this email really quickly. It's very important. Give me 5 minutes. And they'll understand, like, okay, let's give them the 5 minutes, and I'll come back to them when I'm done doing business.
Nice. Hey, Romy, do you force yourself at times to produce content? Like, do you have it set that I'm going to do it on a daily basis, TikTok, Instagram? And sometimes I'm thinking that sometimes you just don't feel like it, but you kind of force yourself to do it, or what is the process when you don't feel like doing it?
When I don't feel like doing it, I just won't do it. And there's been times like that. There's been times, days, months where I'm like, you know what? I'm drained, especially when I was working at that retail place. I was so mentally drained that I didn't even have the mental clarity to make content, to do anything. And I lost a lot of followers on my Instagram during those 2 years because I was there, but I wasn't there. Like, no le estaba echando ganas, la verdad. So I was
interesting how you lose people if you're not active. Oh, interesting.
If you're not active, or if you're really not genuine, I would say.
Okay.
Because I was posting here and there, but I was posting anything, cualquier cosa. But now, like, I've especially now with everything going on, like, I feel like I cannot stop. At this point, I can't stop. I gotta post at least one thing a day. And it's not hard for me to produce content. What I do is batch content. So I make, especially for TikTok, mainly right now, I'll make several TikToks. I'll change my clothes, change my outfit, do a different TikTok, and I'll save it. And I'll save it, and I'll save it, and I'll save it so that I have weeks of content to put
And
up.
wow, interesting.
That's what works for me, because sometimes there's days when I'm super busy and I just don't even have time to eat. And then there's days when I don't do anything and I lay on the couch all day.
Nice. Ahora, what is your end goal with social media? Because if you do that, for sure, it's serious. You have goals. I'm thinking, what is it that que dices tú? I have reached this place. What is it that you want from all this?
For social media, my end goal, I'm trying to manifest. This is so influencer like.
Espérame, that I really believe in the thing, like, no nomás tirarlo, but I know what you're trying to say, that this is what I want, this is what I want to get. And okay, go for it. I'm sorry.
As far as followers, my end goal is to get 1 million followers. I know I can do it. I know I'm gonna do it, and I can see it. I'm visualizing my 20,000 as a 1 million. Why? Just to be able to impact more women's life. I feel like, especially now, I don't know if this is a little sidetrack, but the influencers nowadays, like, they love the title of influencer, but they don't follow through with the role model title. Like, they're still out partying, doing drugs, doing this, doing that, cussing every second of the day, knowing damn well, here I am, ironically cussing, that there's children watching them, that they're influencing somebody's life. And I know that we are not their parents, and we are not the ones to tell them what to do or what not to do. But at the end of the day, they're still gonna do what their favorite person, what their favorite celebrity, what their favorite influencer or YouTuber is doing, And I know we've been kids. I mean, no matter what mom tells you, you're always gonna want to do what Snoop Dogg is doing. You know what I mean? It's gonna influence you in a way, anyhow, anyway, whether they're kids now or later on in life. So I feel like I want to be somebody that obviously people can relate to, somebody that women can relate to. That's my end goal. It's just to empower more women, to let them know that it's possible to do. Nice. To do it all.
You're doing a really good job, by the way. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Al rato me mandas. I'm happy with 500, by the way. I really am happy with 500. So ahí me mandas los que te sobren.
Los extras.
Sí, los extras. Oh, those people that que te dicen comments, hey, follow this guy. This guy's actually asking for it. Oh yeah. Let's talk about what's your opinion on buying followers. And let me tell you, I don't know if you have bought followers or you thought about it. But as I was doing my research, like, the first thing that you check is real estate, por ejemplo, that there's some accounts like you can tell, at least, again, I don't know if because I don't think I'm an expert on anything, but you can tell the difference, right? And me, automatically for that, haz de cuenta me perdiste. Because if you're not willing to be okay at 200 followers, 300, I don't know, maybe 20 people, if you're not okay with that, olvídate. That, to me. Mm-hmm. Te digo, pero si tú quieres comprar tu millón, talk to me about it. That's
exactly.
Okay.
No, I'm the same way. And again, it's so contradicting, because I know I just said I want 1 million followers, but I want to gain those organically. But at the same time, the numbers don't make you who you are. The numbers are not going to say, oh, you only have 2,000 followers. Oh, well, you're not that good of an influencer. Váyase para allá. Obviously not. But I don't agree on buying followers. It just, not only does it not help your account, it's so counteractive, because it really does not help your account grow. Because people may see like, oh, they have 1 million followers, but where are all the comments? O sea, they only have like 2 comments on every picture.
No, deja tú, you can tell. And then sometimes now you can buy likes, by the way, not only followers. Oh, wow. So then, créeme, me meto a ver quién, pura gente china. Digo, okay, bueno, pues qué bárbara or bárbaro. Pero like, to me, again, I respect everything, but the way I'm wired, like, espérame, you don't want to do that work, that hard work of, of building your your audience, whatever you want to do, yeah, para mí. I don't know if, like, in this specific example, I'm quoting someone like from the real estate industry. I don't know if maybe it does help them. Si me entiendes, no quiero, like, sound like I'm criticizing anybody, because cada quien hace su pedo. Mm-hmm. Same person could criticize me, este vato que está haciendo el podcast. Same thing, respectable, by the way. Pero just, since you're big on that, I wanted to hear your take on buying followers.
Yeah, I don't think so. I haven't really looked into it because, again, I've never thought about doing it or have done it. But from what I hear, I know that it does influence, like, your statistics. So on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, there's this website. I forgot the name of it. But that's where you can check. People can check if people are genuinely following you, how many people have you lost. I forgot the name of it. If I think of it, I'll send it to you. I forgot what it's called. And they can check, if your following is up to par to how many people you have. Like, did you all of a sudden gain 15,000 followers and then lose like 6,000 because they were like, what the heck? What am I doing here? Let me unfollow. So little things like that. Like I said, it's going to come back anyway.
Now, I'll tell you, we had this conversation on a podcast that I was invited to. Shout out to Jamil. What he did, which was I thought it was a really good idea. He bought a TikTok account with actual followers, a lot. Y digo yo, no, actually, yo lo haría. Like, si sale me ofrece, hey, here's 100,000, pero, like, they're going to choose to stay based on your content or not. Because they're real people, first of all. And I'm like, no, that is pretty smart, actually. If that person wants to sell it, now, you also have to check, like, what is your audience? Because then maybe it's not even worth it. So, pura gente de China, they don't even speak Spanish or English. So, no. But then they will decide if they want to stay or not. So, I'm like, okay, that's good. And the same thing, it's kind of like advertising or promoting a post. It's similar to that. Because they decide, it's what it's called organic, organic term, but paid organic. Because let's say that one of your posts, you pay for everyone to see it. Are you buying followers? No, you're not. Todo lo que está haciendo is for them to see it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be up to them if they want to follow.
That's true. And that's the thing. There's people selling accounts all over the place.
Yeah, that's good. Pero bueno, last thing on social media, talk to us about some of the people that you follow on social media, locally and outside El Paso.
Locally, I follow a lot of businesses. I love supporting local, all about local, all kinds of stuff. I follow business, restaurants.
How about people that you remember?
People that I follow?
Aside from our favorite lawyer.
Who do I follow? I have to check.
No, you don't have to. I thought maybe.
Because I can't think of the top
you follow half El Paso.
I'm actually not following that many people. Oh my God, shame on me. Well, I follow my friends. Okay. Hi, guys. My friends and family, my nieces. You know what I do is I follow the businesses and then I just somehow become friends with the owner. So then I follow their personal accounts. That's a lot of the stuff that I follow. Follow friends, businesses, local establishments. Is what I do. That's who I follow. How
about outside El Paso? You already said Gary Vee. Anyone else that you can follow the content that you can maybe recommend to someone else?
I follow a few celebrities, not a lot. The Kardashians, of course, because I love their style. They're my guilty pleasure. And even then, I don't follow all of them. Porque, I don't know, like, I don't like to saturate my feed with, like, too much of that. Like, okay. I like to keep it real, if, like, that makes sense. So whatever, I don't know how to explain this. I don't know. I follow not that many people, sadly. I'm just seeing that.
Oh, yeah, putting you on the spot, by the way. I really thought she was going to name, like, really cool local people that, oh, my God. But no, I don't follow anyone. I'm like, oh, I give you that chance for me.
I follow Crystal Poppin, of course. She is amazing. I love her. She's awesome. Her and her manager, Diaz Jr. Drip Drive, obviously. It's mainly local, now that I'm seeing. You know what I do follow a lot is women empowerment accounts.
Really? Yeah. Well, why are you laughing? That's good.
That's what I follow, because it's like, who do you follow?
No. Oye, peor que tu esposo. Who you follow?
Who do you follow? Yeah. Nothing. Just my friends.
Yeah, no, nobody. No, ahorita block the account. No,
block you
start
everybody.
Deleting everybody. No?
Block the whole thing. Yeah, no, I follow a lot of. I like to read inspiring quotes because it helps me also excuse me, it also helps me too. Especially if it's not a good day or if I feel like I'm not productive enough. That's why I follow all of those empowering or like law of attraction accounts, and because it just it kind of, when I see those posts, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Like it kind of brings me back down to.
It's a quick reminder, by the way.
Yeah,
if you don't have that mindset, no es como, and this is where people say, oh, those quotes, I hate that, or wait, it's because you don't have that mindset. But for people que están positive, sometimes they feel down, and it's kind of like, oh, this is a reminder.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
This works. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that's what I follow.
Bueno, pues enough of social media. Thank you for that. Let's talk about Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento.
Oh my gosh.
I know that you recently, I don't know when it was recorded, by the way, but talk to us briefly. What happened there? And for maybe people that are not familiar with that show, tell us a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, so Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento is like, I call it the Latin version of America's Got Talent. Latin version because there's Latin people, women from all over the Latin world. From all over the place, from all over the world. So it was awesome. It was such a fun experience. It didn't go the way I planned it to go, I would say that much, but nonetheless, I mean, like they told us there, not everybody gets that opportunity. Not everybody gets to be on that stage. So it was amazing. I met so many amazing women. It's a season of women, so of women empowerment. So I met so many other like-minded women and girls that, you know, are in there to win, are in there to make something of themselves, are in there because they love the spotlight. And not only that, but the judges too. I mean, they were awesome. It was so much fun.
It was a cool experience.
It was such a cool experience.
Tell us the outcome. What happened? I know what happened already.
I don't know. Do you really want to know the outcome? I'm just kidding.
No, oye, nomás me acordé de Sábado Gigante. Remember del Chacal? I was like, oh, and I kind of felt bad for you, but at the same time, that was hilarious. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah, it was funny. My husband does not let me forget what happened.
So he's tell like, us what happened.
This is awesome. So, okay, so this is what happened. So they call you, you send in your audition, whatever. I had auditioned 3 times already. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I sent it in because my husband told me to send it. He's like, you should send in an audition. We were watching the show. And he's like, you should send in your audition. And I was like, nah, está loco. Like, I don't even sing. Like, I haven't done it in a long time. Like, I do it on TikTok just because. And I used to upload covers on YouTube back in the day, but... And he's like, no, you should do it. I love how you sing, blah, blah, blah. I want to hear you sing. So I was like, nah, pues sabes que, like, I got nothing to lose. Again, it's just one of those things where I'm like, just try it. And, you know, you got nothing to lose. So I sent my audition Monday night. Tuesday morning, I got a call. And we're like, oh, like, we got your audition, your video. We loved how you sounded, blah, 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 blah. We wanted to know if you'd be interested in if you have time to do a interview on the phone. And I was like, what? I told him, I was like, I was not expecting you guys to call me. And I was not expecting you to call me so fast because I sent it late at night. And they were so awesome. And they interviewed me. And at the beginning, she said, if you pass my interview process, then you'll be set up for a Zoom link where you can talk to the producers and you would do your singing audition again. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. She's like, but I'll let you know of that tomorrow if you pass my portion. So towards the end of our conversation, she's like, okay, so I want to set up an appointment with you to do the Zoom with the producers. And I was like, what? Okay. So we did. I set up the Zoom for like a day or two later. I sang. They were super nice. And he was like, okay, we'll call you like in 2 weeks and we'll let you know if you made it through to the next round. The next round would be going to LA, getting flown out to LA because they flew me out there, and pretty much getting the star treatment, getting to do your audition, but it's technically just like a presentation on TV. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and I was like, okay, sure, whatever. So 2 days later, he said 2 weeks. 2 days later, they call me back and they're like, Romy, estamos llamando de Tengo Talento. Queremos saber si estás lista. Felicidades porque pasaste. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. Like, I sent this in just for fun. And I told my husband, I'm like, you see what you made me do? And he's like, that's well, so cool. I mean, they liked what they saw. So
do you think they checked your Instagram account, your social media, and that helped out, like, to speed up the process?
I don't know about speeding up the process, but they definitely do check you because in the time that I was getting set up to get flown out to LA, they had called me and they're like, hey, we want you to send us some videos of you doing your talk show. You have a talk show, right? And I was like, yeah, I do.
Okay.
We want you to send us some clips of that. Send us some clips of your business. You do real estate. And I was like, yeah, I do. So they do. They definitely check your stuff.
Nice.
For sure.
So once you're in that stage, I don't want to tell people what happened. Hopefully it comes from your mouth. Tell us what happened there.
Natalia.
It's time to go.
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
Hi, babe. I'm still here. Okay. Nana's outside if you guys need anything. Okay, bye. It's 9:30. Wait, no wonder he's checking.
Are you good, by the way?
No, I'm fine. He's
Are
like,
you
I'm
good?
just making sure you're okay.
Ya me falta like the last portion, eh?
No, you're fine. Because I kept seeing him. He's like, bring me a fruit bowl. Ay, señor.
Oye, te digo que this, like, at first it was like, 45 minutes, but then we get into it.
I know how I'm the same way.
Hopefully you're good with it.
No, I'm totally fine.
Okay, ahorita I'll cut in and then tell us that tú es here. Bueno, I'll start it, okay?
So the outcome goes for it.
All right, so, yeah. Romy, okay, nos estás diciendo, tell us what happened once you're already in LA, you're auditioning, you're already singing. Dinos qué pasó. ¿A qué horas llega el chacal?
So they tell you, hey, come with 4 songs prepared. They never asked me what song I was going to sing. So when I get there, it's a long process. I was there all day. As soon as they fly you in, you're there all for the rest of the day, shooting promotional videos, shooting your interview, talking to different producers, doing multiple interviews, cutting your song and this and that. So when I get to cutting my song, they were cutting me Besos y Copas, which is what I had auditioned with, which is what I wanted to audition with in person too. So I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like, I'm going to get to do my song. Like, I feel so much more relieved. And I rehearse the song, and then they tell me, you know what, you can't do that song because somebody else is doing that song. So I was like, okay. Well, I have these other 3 songs. Well, what songs do you have? And I give them the songs. I had a Juan Gabriel song, Olga Tañón, and I had Adele, Rolling in the Deep. And it's so crazy. Like, for each song, I had my performance for each one, if that makes sense, like in my mind.
Yeah.
And so I had it all planned out, right? So I said, if they don't choose this one, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then they're like, no, se nota que tú estás muy a gusto aquí en el escenario, no estás nervioso en hablar con nosotros, because they kind of do like a mock interview thing, like how the judges do it. Y se nota que tú estás muy contenta, tienes una sonrisa de oído allí, de oreja a oreja, and you just look so happy and so bubbly to be here. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, I'm so excited to be here. Like, thank you so much. Yeah, no, well, we don't want you to, like, we want you to sing something more lively. We want you to sing a cumbia. And I was like, a cumbia? Like, me encantan las cumbias, pero yo no canto las cumbias. O sea, de por sí casi no canto. Like, I sing to myself, you know? And no, sí, va a estar padre, y tú la bailas y este que el otro, ¿qué cumbia quieres cantar? Y yo, no, pues es que, pues no. Wow. I couldn't even think of a cumbia that, you know, comes to my mind. And they're like, ya sé, baila esta cumbia, vas a cantar, baila esta cumbia. And I'm like, baila esta cumbia? Okay, I was like, I love Selena, and it's weird, and it brings me back to you asking if they check my social media. I wonder if they gave me Baila Esta Cumbia because I love Selena. She's my idol since I was this young. So I wonder if it was just a coincidence that they gave it to me or what. But I said, you know, I don't sing Selena. No one can match her. Like, I can't. Like, she's up here. Like, she's untouchable. No, pero va a estar padre. Y tú bailale y baila esta cumbia. Vas a emocionar a todos y los jueces. So they hype you up big time. And I was like, damn, okay, well, I'm already here. So might as well make the best of it. I know I'm going to mess it up. And I would tell my husband, like, I know I'm going to mess it up. And he's like, well, practice. And I'm like, I don't need to practice. I know the song. But it's just not my thing. I don't do that. It's like if you tell Vicente Fernandez to sing a Slipknot song, like, that's not what he does, you know what I mean? So, the day of the show, I was like, I'm going to mess it up. But you know what? I'm already here. I'm here for a reason. Like, this is just some sort of another way of exposure for myself. So, chingue su, vamos a echarle ganas. And so I didn't pass. Because it was such a hot mess. So I started dancing and singing like they said, like it was rehearsed, and I couldn't hear myself. Even when I was talking to the judges, I had Ana Barbara probably not that much farther from me, probably like up behind by the wall. Ana Barbara, Chiquis, Pepe, and Don Cheto, and I could only hear Chiquis and Ana Barbara, who were standing right in front of me, but Pepe and the Don Cheto, I could not hear a word they were saying to me. And I was like, damn, if I can't hear them right now, like, I'm not going to be able to hear myself when I'm singing, pero pues ni modo. Ya estamos aquí, ya se está grabando, ni modo de echarme para atrás. So the song starts, and I could not hear myself for the life of me. For the life of me, there's no acoustics. I didn't have like a earpiece, nothing at all. And I was like, damn, this is so bad. And I in the performance when I finished it, you can even see me like I'm wanting to just like crack up laughing because it was a mess. It was so funny. And then Osito, which is like a chacal for their show, he comes out, and I realize why they call him Osito. They call him Osito because acabas de hacer un oso. O sea, qué oso.
Yeah.
Qué oso, o sea, qué pena. And then I didn't even feel him, but I'm singing, and then I'm like, the song ends, and then I'm like laughing. And then I look over, and I was like, oh my, like he was behind me, like I had no idea. And supposedly when he gets on, that's when you're supposed to leave. But it was funny, and it was a good experience.
I'm sure it was a good experience too. I don't know how I saw that. I don't know if you posted it or I don't know. There was a link, va? Like, oh, that's cool because you got interview, a couple questions, va? Y luego I see you performing, and I was like 5 seconds, 10. Y luego ya digo, ¿qué pasó aquí? Like, it was more of the interview, the process.
I know.
Pero bueno, thank you for sharing your experience, by the way. I really liked it. I'm sure you made a lot of people laugh as well. No, pero that's pretty cool. Who else does that? I mean, like, si me dicen, Goro, caso cerrado, you know, like, those people, y di que, like, te tienes miedo a las arañas. Oh, for sure, I'll do that, you know, like... So that's so cool just to live that experience,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, I was like, I'm already here. I'm not going to be like, well, no, I didn't come here to sing that. Like, why not? Just give them what they want. They want the rating at the end of the day. And they already have it lined up to who's going to win anyway. So, whatever. It was fun.
Nice. All right, señorita. Going to our last subject. Let's talk a little bit about Cafecito con Romy, right? Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing it, and why? How did it start?
I started doing that November 22nd, I believe, of 2020. So it's only been like 6 months?
Okay. This is on Facebook only, huh?
It's on Facebook, and then it also streams on the Roku app, the All in El Paso Roku app.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that was an opportunity that just, again, I was not looking for it. It's not like I didn't wake up one day and say, I want to be a talk show host. I had been on All in El Paso. They have other shows. They had 2 night shows, and now they have the new segment and obviously Cafecito. But back in 2020, I was on their show 3 times. So I was in there in February.
As a guest.
Uh-huh. February, just yesterday, actually, I got the reminder that I was there a year ago. So like February, April, and then November. And just as a guest, I had never been there. I had never met them. I had so much fun when I was there. Everything's so like warm and family oriented. And so the last interview that I did in November, after the show ended and whatnot, the girls were wrapping up. It was the Sun City Nights show. And then production tells me, Denise, who, by the way, hi, Denise. I owe her my life. She's like, hey, so we were thinking and we wanted you to have your own show. And I was like, what? Me? I think I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, we want you to have your own show. Well, who would I do it with? Like, I'm all for it, but like, who would I do it? Because I had seen the girls do it together. Julio has his own thing. No, like, we want it to be about you. Like, we want you to have your own show. And I was like, am I that interesting? Like, why? They're like, no, it's going to be great. Like, we really want you to do it. It's going to be so much fun. Like, what do you think? And I'm like, well, yeah, like, let's do it. Like, I had just quit my job. Like, I quit it November 3rd, and then I think it was like November 16th or 12th, somewhere like in the teens, that I had that interview with the other All in El Paso show. And so, like I said, when one door closes, multiple doors are going to open. It's something that I was not expecting. So you're asking me, why did I'm doing it because it landed on my lap. See, o sea,
no.
it landed on my lap. I was not expecting it at all. Like, ever. Like, I never, in my wildest dreams, saw myself doing that show, and it's brought in so many opportunities. It's been so amazing.
Oh, that's great. Y te digo, I feel like as you're telling me this, pues te digo, I recently got approached by Caleb, me dice el project, and I'm like, what? Oh, for sure I have to say yes. But it's so funny telling people, I'm on TV. Luego, yeah, that day of the show, the first one, I was recording something. Le digo a mi hermana, hey, le puedes cambiar and can you just record it? So, you know, it's so weird even talking about it. Pero thankful for the opportunity, and always you say yes, take advantage of everything.
Oh, absolutely.
No pasa nada.
Absolutely.
You interview guests in Cafecito with Romy. Same kind of like a podcast setup. I know it's a little bit different. But what are some of the things that you, some takeaways that you have from interviewing so many people?
Oh, man. Okay, so I've gotten to meet people that I've never, o sea, nunca en mi vida más loca me imaginé que iba a conocer. I've had Johnny Cage. I've had Patty Diaz from Power 102. I've had Cinta de Oro, who's a former WWE, which he was here too.
Yeah, great person.
And he's amazing. And I've had Chicharrin, who's from Los Chicharrinos, a childhood ay, hasta se me fue lo que iba a decir.
An idol. I mean, when you were a kid, that's
a childhood
for sure.
idol, see, for sure. So I've had different people from different walks of life, business owners that are just starting off their business, that my thing is to support locals. So I want to help them as much as I can to bring in their more revenue to their business, more awareness of their business, because being a business owner myself, like, I know it's hard, especially when you have family and mouths to feed. So if I can help them just to get one more customer, I mean, that alone makes my whole day. And then obviously with the local celebrities and the local people that are popular, I mean, that makes my day. Like I was telling you behind cameras, I was so nervous interviewing Chicharrin. I was sweating, my back was hurting. Like, he's the only one that I've ever gotten that nervous with. It was the craziest thing, and he was so sweet.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Also, when I have these conversations with amazing people, like, first of all, showing up, and then when we have such great conversations, I'm like, this is all about it. This is what I'm doing for, to have those interactions. And again, I can definitely relate to that. Yeah. Do you have any favorite guests so far?
I think they're all my favorite guests. I would have to say favorite guest. I really loved Sophie. I love Sophie. She was so sweet. She's
Who's
13 years old.
Okay.
She's relentless. Her Instagram is Relentless Beauty. She's a 13-year-old entrepreneur. She's a young lady. And she just recently moved out to Corpus, but we miss you, Sophie. And she was so spunky. Like, I saw a lot of myself in her, but I wasn't that spunky at her age. Like, I was still very timid, but I knew that I wanted to have my own business. I knew that I wanted to be a little hustler. And oh man, she's fantastic, and it's just so inspiring to see her at such a young age and doing so much. When she was living here in El Paso, she just moved like a couple weeks ago, I think. She was set up at the farmers market, and she makes her own products. So she makes like little sugar scrubs and like just beauty products that are handmade and natural, and she makes them. Well, her mom helps her. But she's been definitely one of my favorites. Obviously, Chicharrin was one of my favorites because he's like my childhood idol. Him and Chicharrin. Cinta de Oro is amazing. So much has come out of our friendship that I never, and later on you guys will find out about it. I don't want to talk about it yet, but so much has come out of my friendship with Cinta de Oro that I'm in awe as to, you know, what he's done, and he's put my name out there to people that I never thought possible.
No, such an amazing guy. And it's funny how like this person, Cynthia, over 1 million followers, super famous, forget about it. And then you're like, you think that, this guy's gonna have a different attitude. No, the most successful people are the ones that are very kind, willing to help you out. I had him like when I had less than 10 episodes. He was so good, so down to earth. And the conversation that we had, olvídate. Some of the clips that I have, by the way, they have over close to 20,000 views on YouTube.
Wow.
Gente allá de, pero todos, I love Sin Que Te Cara, great. And he's able to share like the stuff that he shared, like, oh my God.
And it's like, it's so amazing. Like I took a lot from what he said and our conversation too, I'm like, damn, like he's so humble. He's like extremely humble. And he's an international superstar. Like, it's crazy. O sea, it doesn't faze him, the fame and all that stuff. It doesn't faze him. He's still him, and he's still that kid that grew up in the Segundo Barrio. And I'm like, that's a real role model.
Yeah, and not only like his story coming up as a wrestler, but it's what amazing. He did later on in life, that he took that decision that, hey, it's my way. I'm like, oh my God, so much respect. Crazy. Ahorita nos ponemos a hallar por Cinta de Oro. Hopefully he's watching. Oh yeah, okay, let's talk about going back to we did talk a little bit about this. You large female following, right? Most of them think in El Paso, of course, all over, but most of them El Paso. What is it that you think that there's a lack of, or that maybe women here in El Paso need that additional motivation, role models? What is it that you think that women here in El Paso can benefit from? What is it that we need?
The same thing. I go back to the same thing. The motivation to... The motivation and encouragement, mainly, to still be yourself, to still be that mom, to still be the single mom, the working mom, and still be able to follow your dreams, to still let them know that, hey, it's still possible to I mean, it could be anything. It's still possible to still be a working mom, a busy mom, and still look good. Or it's still possible to be a working mom and still have your business. Or it's still possible to be a working mom and follow your dreams and do what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, I feel it's very important, like we were talking about earlier, it's very important to not lose yourself. It's great, to take care of your kids 24/7 and all that stuff, but you also need time for you, and take that time to make yourself feel better, whether it's putting on your makeup or traveling to Las Vegas, your favorite spot for the weekend, to kind of let loose a little bit. It's very important to do that in life.
You think that's when, I'm sure you get a lot of messages, DMs, posts that you have as far as, hey, thank you, I needed this, it made me laugh. I mean, that your content varies a lot. So if I understand this correctly, you think that going back to like what you have seen, you think that in El Paso there's that lack of, I don't know, like being positive, feeling positive, yes, or having a goal. What is it that you feel that Tuskegee, this is what we need, not only in El Paso, but as a whole, like as far as empowering women?
Definitely positivity. Collaboration. I mean, it's 2021 and there's still a lot of people that are talking down on people because they're doing what they want to do, because they opened up the business, and instead of supporting their friends and their local businesses, they're over here supporting, like that meme that says, instead of supporting the celebrities that don't know you, support your friends that know you and care about you and need your money to feed their families. El Paso lacks so much. It's such a beautiful city and I love my city, but it lacks self-love. It lacks, I think, love more for the city. There's so many people that say, oh, there's nothing to do. There's so much to do in El Paso. So much to do. I wish the tramway was still open, by the way. I may work on opening it myself. I'm just kidding. But there's so much to do in El Paso, and definitely a lack of positivity. I want to encourage more women, motivate more women, let them know that if I can do it, and hey, I'm a teen mom. Like, I had my daughter at 16 and life has not been that nice to me, but I'm still pushing, I'm still trying, and if I can do it, sure, why not? Why can't you?
Yeah, bottom line gets to that. Te digo, we already talked about, I every single episode I ask one last question, which I will ask it again, but it's mainly what you just covered as far as what is one thing that you like to change or improve from El Paso. But going a little bit back to that subject of empowering women, like I have a daughter, and it was important to me as I saw this podcast, my daughter say, hey, you know what, it will be cool if you have more females in El Paso as role models, like having their story. And that's why I make it a point to invite people that I know that have a positive influence on other people. Even my daughter, like, even though I tell her 24/7, she's tired of me, but then someone else like Elias Parza mentioned something and like, oh my God, I really like that. I've been telling you my whole life the same thing. Yeah. But bueno, that's a different story. But what I feel like is that a lot of men as well, right? But it, is that emotional intelligence. Going back to, doesn't mean that you're educated or not. You can be bachelor's, master's. I have known so many people that as soon as they get their divorce, something happens bad in their life, se pierden.
Yeah.
Depression, all things. And one of my goals is to try to see if I can influence somehow, some way, like since, again, not from the start, but maybe that people that don't have that different perspective, right? A lot of times when you have a problem, let's say negative Nancy has a problem, they usually go to their friends and family. But guess what? The problem that their friends and family to begin with, because they think same as you. So you need to get outside that circle of influence to really get a different perspective and hope that you're going to grasp into that concept. So my take on this is to also offer a way, and maybe we can talk about different projects later on, is that being able to help that person, because it's not their fault they're negative Nancy. Again, going back to toda su vida vivieron así, and it sucks because you're like, it's not their fault. Yeah, right now no one wants them because they're irresponsible. They do this, they do that. But you know what? This person never had a chance. At least, again, be open to think about it that way. And if there's any way that you can help out, you can do that.
Absolutely.
So that's why it was very important to invite you, because I know you do have large female following, but it's not only about doing things for fun. There's a purpose behind it, and I can see that your goal is to help out.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Continue doing that.
That's the same thing with my TikToks. I mean, I post, I will ridículo in TikTok, to be honest. I really do. So that, going back to the Tengo Talento, I was like, you know what? I make a fool out of myself every single day on TikTok. ¿Y para qué? Para nada. O sea, nadie me ve. So might as well just do it here. So TikTok, same thing. It's to bring a smile to somebody's face, especially during the pandemic. That's when it really took off for me. I just wanted to make some people smile because it was a really hard year for a lot of people. So if I can empower you, if I can make you feel better, if I can make you smile, if I can make you cry, like I'm all for it, do it.
Nice. I have enjoyed our conversation a lot. Too. Thank you again for accepting my invite. Let me ask you the last question that you already talked about, but I want to give you another chance. My last question that I ask everybody is, give us one thing that you love about El Paso. No puede ser comida, because that's an obvious one, right? And then one thing that you would like to change or improve about our city.
One thing that I love about El Paso. Oh my gosh. I love the people. We have such a diverse culture. I know it's mainly Mexican, but since I started working in Fort Bliss, that's when I started seeing like all the different cultures, all the people from all over the world that are actually living here in our city. And then in some way they do influence. If I did take away something from Fort Bliss, that job was that, that I saw the diversity in the city. And in one way or another, they influence, and they like people come from Europe, from all over the place, and they love our culture. They love our food. People here are so genuinely nice, so caring. I always say El Paso is like a big family. Everybody's all interconnected in some way, and everybody knows somebody that like you may know my cousin for some reason, and it's so crazy. And I see that all the time, especially on Facebook. Like some random person will add me, and I see like, damn, like they know my cousin from Juarez. Like how the heck do they? And everybody's so connected. It's beautiful. I think it's so beautiful.
Yeah, like that too.
And one thing that I would change
or improve,
I wish, okay, this is like in a different way. So I wish we had like a big arena, like a Staples Center, like a Mavericks, I don't know, like a American Airlines Center, a big arena. And I know it's been in the talks for the city for a long time, and people push against it, but I mean, that would be a really amazing thing to have. It would bring so much revenue for the city, so many events, bigger concerts, because I feel like concerts, I'm a big music junkie, so to me, concerts here in El Paso are not the same if you were to see them in Dallas and Phoenix and New York, Madison Square Garden, obviously. So I feel like a big arena like that would attract so much more money to the city, so many better concerts, and so many jobs, obviously, too. I would change that. I would definitely push for the arena here. And what else would I change or modify?
Oye, ¿tú quieres cambiar todo El Paso?
Sí, ya cámbialo todo. I would really like that. I think that would be great for our city. El Paso's already a big city. I know it is. People say it's not, but it's a big small city. It's a big city with a small city mentality, obviously, and heart too, because like I said, everybody knows each other. But I think it's beautiful. Even if we don't get that arena, I think it's still beautiful.
I still love you, Paza.
I still love you.
Nice. All right, so that's all I have. Once again, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. You have no idea. This is a Friday night, and instead of being with your family, friends, instead of doing TikToks, posting, you're here with me, taking time to have a conversation. So again, thank you, and of course, thank you for everyone who watched or listened to the episode. Gracias.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.